We've got Michael Ogunshiji, Chairman, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, Ogun State Chapter, who is joining us right there in Abeokuta. Thank you for joining, Michael. Great to have you with us.
Yeah, good afternoon, Nigerians. Good afternoon, colleagues in the studio. I am Michael Ogunshiji, the Ogun State Chairman of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, and of course, member of the LOC Media and Publicity Committee.
All right, great to have you with us. We've been buzzing looking ahead of the National Sports Festival. And my guest in the studio, Bita Damola, said that, look, we should not take this as games that will get to unearth or discover talents. We should use this as a preparation for the Olympics early 28.
Yes, I want to quite agree with you, but at the same time, added that, the National Sports Festival has traditions, over the years, it has always been a platform for us to discover more talents and, of course, to nurture them to stardom. And then we have a list of many athletes and that has, risen to that spectacle of their career. And then right now, as I know, discovering talents, at the same time, we are using it to showcase our, potentials in terms of sporting infrastructure. At the same time, in terms of women capacity development. At the same time, in terms of resources, human resources, in terms of professionalism that we have in the country. So far, so good. National Sports Festival has become a platform for people, as a country, for us to discover more talent, at the same time to prepare us for the Olympics as well, because many of the international athletes will be participating at this year's National Sports Festival, and that is a plus for us because it's going to serve as a kind of motivating factors for some of the invited junior athletes that were invited to this year's edition.
True. But tell us, what is the feeling like over there in Abeokuta? How are people expecting? What are they looking forward to? Because we've not really seen a lot of buzz from there, but you are over there. So tell us exactly what is going on.
Yes, as you can see at my background right now, I'm at the newly remodeled MK Abiola Sports Arena, where we have many state contingents have arrived in Ogun State. We have the contingents like Bayelsa, contingents from Delta, athletes from Imo State, already testing the facilities at the MK Abiola Sports Arena here to be able to prepare themselves for tomorrow's events. Starting kicking off from tomorrow. As right now at the MK Abiola State, at the swimming pool side, we'll have the swimmers from Bayelsa State who are already, taking turns to destroy the facility over there. And of course, as a member of the MK Abiola for the track and field events that will be taking place probably tomorrow, the majority of them, the Delta athletes, are already here. The Imo State athletes are already here, taking turns to ensure that they get acclimatized with the facility and, of course, with the weather. So far, so good. The city of Abeokuta is bustling already because we have more contingents trooping into the states by highway. As we speak right now, the hotels in Abeokuta are fully booked. In fact, I can tell you authoritatively that many officials that are coming to Ogun State, majority of them have to relocate to Ikene, nearby Ewekoro, to ensure that they get accommodation so that they can have somewhere to stay. So right now, the economic activities of the state is booming, and of course, the atmosphere around the MK Abiola Stadium is already in frenzy mood as people are trooping in. Even the residents of the state are already trooping in to have, have a selfie with these world-class and international standard facilities we have around us. So for us in Ogun State, we are ready, and of course, the atmosphere is getting buzzly already.
All right. Now, we also hear that the Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy and the National Sports Festival, National Sports Commission have launched a strategic partnership to develop creative and sports infrastructure across Nigeria. The collaboration was actually sealed during a meeting between Minister Anatu Musawa and Commission Chairman Shodiko in Abuja. Now, it aims to address infrastructure deficits and unite both sectors to empower youth, drive economic growth, and foster national cohesion. Now, proposed projects include cultural hubs, concert arenas, gaming and animation centers, and the ambitious equestrian city. Both agencies plan to sign a memorandum of understanding to formalize their efforts. The partnership supports the federal government's renewed hope agenda and is expected to boost the sports and creative industries as key national assets. Now, Michael, again, there was something that also trended online. We heard that the National Association of Caterers in Nigeria are protesting over there in Abeokuta the alleged exclusion of their members from major catering jobs at the 2025 National Sports Festival. Now, they're saying that, look, they've been carrying placards around, carrying inscriptions such as "Caterers are hungry. Governor Dapo Abiodun should let them sell their markets to give them their jobs. National Sports Festival is not a state festival. Their job is not for Babcock University, and it is meant for caterers," among others written on the placards. Can you tell us exactly what the challenge is over there, if you've heard of any?
Yes, as a member of the Media and Publicity Committee of the LOC, of course, we got rid of that information. We were there yesterday to actually assess the situation. And I can tell you that what actually happened yesterday for the caterers who are protesting was due to the lack of misinformation management. Because what actually happened was that for the camping of all the 15,000 athletes that are coming across the country in Ogun State. You know, for the first time, I think kudos to be given to Ogun State government led by Prince Dapo Abiodun administration, because for the first time in this show of a National Sports Festival since 1973, this is the first time a festival will have a centralized feeding arrangement, feeding system, and of course a centralized transportation system as well. So in the organizer, in their own magnanimity and their own wisdom, they decided that they are camping all the 15,000 athletes at the Babcock University. And if you are familiar with the policy of Babcock University at Elishon Remoye in Ogun State, you agree with me that Babcock, they have their own in-house policy. You can't bring in food outside for their students. And of course, they have their own professional chef that's cooking for their students there. And don't forget the same that when the Ogun State government and the MOC wanted to enter into, partnership with Babcock to ensure that they release that hostel facility that will accommodate the 15,000 athletes. One of the memorandum, arrangement was that they will allow their in-house, cook to ensure that they take care, they handle the feeding system for the athletes. Because number one, they don't want to give themselves a bad image before the press. They want to avoid issues of food poisoning, where some countries might bring food from outside to the university premises. And then when some athletes, coming from other parts of the states who are not actually, acclimatized with our food here, and they want to ensure that the food are produced by professionals. And that is why the Babcock management said it is their cook that will handle that feeding system for all the athletes. And in that way, there's nothing we can do, because they are giving us that facility for free of charge. And the only thing we can bargain with is for us to allow them to use their in-house arrangements. But be that as it may, there was no official proposal from the National Association. There was no proposal or whatsoever to the local organizing committee or the main organizing committee or the state government to bid for feeding of this athlete. There was no proposal for them. However, the individual, don't forget that some of their members who approached the Ministry of Sport Development in Ogun State were also given contracts to supply food to some of the officials in the state. So therefore, their protest was, mischief. Yesterday, their protest was just to paint the state in a bad light. Their protest was just to demarcate the Ogun State government. Unfortunately, they failed. Many of them failed to, rehearse with their leadership to actually ask what actually went wrong. But when they got to the Ministry of Sports yesterday, that they got to know that the arrangement the LOC and the MOC had with Babcock management was due to the in-house policy of Babcock University. So therefore, there was no any misgiving or any wrongdoing on the part of the organizers of the National Sports Festival or on the part of the Ogun State government. It was just as a kind of mismanagement of information between their leadership and, of course, the organizing committee of the National Sports Festival.